Hello, hello, hello. Marcia Bent here from Think Premium JA. And today's message is really simple, actually. What our message is today is that nothing affects you until you allow it to affect you. Yes, I'm serious. Nothing affects you until you allow it to affect you. Now, what that looks like, at the end of the day, listen, we all go through challenges. We all experience adversity. We all have moments where things are not going to go well. We all have bills. We all have responsibilities. But here's what, you can't let what you don't have in this moment derail your goals for the future. Yes, I said it. You can't let what you don't have in this moment derail your goals for the future. You can't let, because, oh my gosh, I can't pay my bills in a particular area, or I can't get that big client, or my business isn't growing the way I want it to go, or I'm not able to take care of my family the way I would want to, stop you from building something that you know your family will benefit from years from now if this thing was able to do well. What you need to focus on instead is trying to find ways to improve it so you can actually grow. Yes, I said it. Now, will it be hard? Yes. I mean, my gosh, you're human. But here's the thing though, we can only control our actions or decisions or association and our thoughts. We can't control what happens to us. We can't control how people treat us. And you certainly can't control what happens around you. You have no control over what other people do. But what you also need to understand is nothing can really affect you unless you first give it power to affect. God gave you free will. And in my opinion, that includes being able to choose what you choose to follow, what thought you choose to follow. Not every thought needs to be followed. Some thoughts, the minute you realize that you're going down a path, you need to just be deaded right there. You need to just end it, right? And the sins that you choose to buy into now, manifesting issues that can take you out if left unchecked. We all know of the seven deadly sins. Do you think your porn addiction isn't gonna get to you eventually? Come on. You really think so? You think your pride isn't going to affect your relationships, whether with your team or with your clients or with your family or with yourself? Eventually, that spirit of pride, you don't think it's going to affect you eventually? Really? No, I'm not saying anybody's perfect. I'm certainly not. I'm walking with my cross daily. That's okay. But what I can say is having a business is a lot like operating in a battlefield every day. The bullets are the bills that you're trying to pay daily to keep yourself and your family afloat. The missiles, shoot, those are the people that say you can't make the business that you're building succeed because the potential that you exhibit makes them uncomfortable. So they're throwing seeds of negativity in your mind to stop you from building that business because it makes them feel inferior that they can't do it themselves. The grenades. Now, you see, the grenades are the people close to you and the people around you who either leave you or they do things to undermine you and betray you as you're building this. And listen, I've had all sorts of people come in. I've had people lie on me. I've had people, slander me in the companies that I was employed to, putting my personal business that I trusted them with out there, even in business as well. I've had people use me and use what I put out there because I'm really invested in helping people to do well. And many entrepreneurs have that same story. I think that's what makes entrepreneurs different. You're cut from a different cloth. If you're truly meant to build a business, you are cut from a different cloth. And guess not everybody's meant to build a business. But here's the real doozy. Now, you see them landmines? Shoot, them landmines on that battlefield, boy. Listen to me. Those are your own thoughts. Yeah, I said it. Those insecurities, those bad habits, those vices, or internal pain, or health, or trauma, or pride, or anger, your doubts. You see those memories that you're still tethered to from the past, whether it's your ex love, your ex business partner, that business that didn't work out, your ex coworkers, your ex boss, your family members that did nasty stuff to you. See them landmines, in my opinion, shoot, those are probably the most dangerous of all. And those are the things that destroy multi-million dollar, even billion-dollar entrepreneurs that you hear around the world. Many of those companies that would have gotten involved in like fraud scandals, right? Many of those companies that would have been derailed, and you see the business owner get sent to prison or something like that. A lot of that started through vices and thoughts that were left unchecked. Those are people just like us. You drive a Benz, but you're still just a person as everybody else. Look on Enron. The same CFO there, Pasto, right? The one that pleaded guilty to 2 counts of wire fraud and securities fraud for facilitating Enron's corrupt business practices, right? You think that greed didn't have something to do with it? You think his own insecurities didn't have something to do with it? His own pride? You think that didn't have something to do with it? And needing to keep up with the Joneses and create this facade, just a few your own ego, you think that had nothing to do with it? Come on. And there's so many other stories out there. That's not the only story. I mean, Wall Street has its skeletons. There are many other businesses that have had issues. You've had doctors go down, whether it's for sexual assault or anything like that. The stories are there, right? Now, what I can say is that I'm not saying you won't have bad days as an entrepreneur. I'm not saying that pain can't be used for good. I'm not saying that. And guess what? I'm just learning my Bible as well. So do bear with me, the person's listening out. You can always correct me if I'm wrong here. But there are some really good Bible verses on, your thoughts, right? And here are some examples that really stand out to me. Proverbs 4, verse 23, keep your heart with all vigilance, for it's from it that flows the springs of life. That's Proverbs 4, right? That's the ESV version. Another one is Mark 7, verse 20 to 22. And he said, what comes of a person is what defiles him. For from within, out of the heart of man, come evil thoughts, sexual immorality, theft, murder, adultery, coveting, wickedness, deceit, sensuality, envy, slander, pride, foolishness. It's in the Bible. It's there. It's been around for ages. I mean, I'm just 32. The Bible been there before I was around. Yeah. And You know, there's a lot in the Bible that people don't look at that have a lot to do with business and living in general. You know, one of the things that I look on in ministering about God through business is really just like highlighting things like that. And my whole point in saying all of this, ultimately, we are a product of what we choose to let inside us. What we let inside our heart, what we keep inside our heart, what we keep inside our minds. Listen, that's what manifests into self-destructive behaviors that literally rip companies, families, and businesses apart. I mean, after all, there is that line in the Bible that out of the abundance of the heart, the mind speaks. I'm trying to remember what Bible verse that is. As soon as I find it, I will let you know. But that's something that you need to pay attention to. And I mean, you have to understand that God is with us all the time. God is with us all the time, even when things are not going well. You know, He's still with us. And He uses our adverse to bring us closer to Him. But you choose what you get affected by, just as though you choose to be in relationship. God never wanted to force us to be in relationship with Him, which is why He gave us free will. He wanted us to come to Him, right? But at the same time, just as how He wants us to come to Him, you also need to want to have that relationship and do the work needed to address your pain, address what ails you, address what you get affected by, address your insecurities. Because a man that is insecure can be influenced easily. If you've read books like Sun Tzu Art of War or the 33 Laws of Power by Robert Greene, or even the laws of seduction, the art of seduction by Robert Greene, it says it. It's there. Your insecurities are probably your greatest weapon. Their enemies' insecurities are probably your greatest weapon against them. You just need to find out what it is. Because that starts in here. You can't control what somebody um does to you. But you see what you choose to think of yourself, man, that's your own worst enemy. And anybody that can capitalize on that, listen, the fact that they can control what you do, hey. So before I wrap up here today, I want to make sure you remember to take time to address what you're really allowing to affect you. Like really stop and assess it. Look what you're feeding into daily. Look who you have around you. Your association can do way more harm to your success than you think. Because if you have a bunch of fat people around you, you're going to get fat too. If you have a bunch of people around you that don't like to read, you're going to get that way too. If you have a bunch of people around you that want to do well and budget, pretty soon you're going to do the same. If you have a bunch of doctors around you, after a while, you're going to know a little bit more about medicine than the average person, even if you never practice, because you're going to be around that. If you spend a lot of time with them, that is. You are the product of the 5 people you spend the most time around. So you need to remove people that are not serving your vision. It's okay to be alone. As a matter of fact, some of my best associations are online. Them YouTube videos that I listen to, Valuetainment, for instance, Rebecca Lynn Pope. There's so many of them. The Daniela Jagas, I like her. There's so many of them. Like that's the content I choose to pour into daily, and that makes me a better person. And that led me to finding mentors and other persons that are now pouring into me. Right now, I'm blessed to have some really good mentors that are pouring into me and my business and showing me new ways in which I can earn an income and help people in ways I probably wouldn't have fathomed before. And they have many of the same healthy habits that I'm trying to maintain. So look at God, right? Now, just remember to remove anyone from your life that's not serving your vision. Relationships that lasted for 10 years plus mean nothing if they're a distraction or make you feel afraid to tell them what you have focusing on. That's not a relationship, that's a leech. All right. So that's pretty much it for me. Take care. Remember, I do digital marketing. So I offer social media marketing, email marketing, blogging, other forms of sales, copywriting, and online courses. And I offer business consultation. Plus, I have an online store that sells products. You're probably running out of it in the next 2 weeks anyway. So check out my bio to learn more. That's it. Take care. And remember to never stop dreaming. Bye bye.